Well, I finally figured out how to get some of these videos off of my new iPhone, my newer iPhone. I couldn't get them off and onto the PC, so my phone was full and I couldn't take any videos for you, and your email is full, so the ones I sent to you before were bouncing back. So hopefully I figured out the phone, and I think I might start putting these on YouTube or somewhere where not only can they be stored and you'll always be able to get to them, but also maybe somebody else will find some enjoyment and some benefit from these reflections. You know, look at these beautiful hibiscus flowers. And did you see the little bee? You know, the little bee, as we talk about as a pollinator, carries the pollen from the flowers to each other, so from one flower to the next flower, and then in the process the bee gets nectar from the flower and takes that to the beehive where the bees are, and they make honey out of that, and other things, propolis. They make their honeycombs out of it if they live in that kind of bee hive. A lot of these bees, they live in the ground too. I don't know all the different bees, but that would be funny. Not funny, but fun to really learn more about bees, because not only are they interesting little creatures just in their own right, but they also can teach us something, like all animals can teach us things. That they're you know, same thing with like ants and even all these little insects. They have to work together as teams. When they don't have a team, they can't survive by themselves. They're colonies. These types of animals live in colonies. So a bee colony, ant colonies, and mammals do too. You know, but a little bit different. Usually, as you get to the larger, more intelligent animals, they can kind of go back and forth from surviving. There's that little bee, surviving on their own or in smaller groups versus bigger groups. But bees and ants, they need pretty good sized colonies to be able for all the little animals to have their jobs that they do. You know, a lot of the bees are or nectar collectors, but then there's the queen bee, and and depending on the species of bee, there's different ones have different jobs. But bees, you know, carrying their nectar around to go make honey is a good analogy for a lot of other things, because with humans, you know, we live in kind of like a big society, and when we're in smaller groups or tribes, we call that maybe a colony, like the lost colony. And if you think about the lost colony, that's an example of humans living close together, very reliant on one another in a situation like that. So depending on the conditions of the environment, that varies to how much humans need to rely on the ones that are close to them, and that goes back and forth in cycles. So, but also you can spread your happiness and your joy just like that little bee spreads the nectar. I love you.